cult classics, and the obscure from film, television shows, and literature. Join our horror hostess, Keisha Lacey, as she is scary, but random, horrific, and funny. Last but not least, she will chill you to the bone.
Welcome back to the Random Horror Show. I am your horror hostess, Keisha Lacey, coming straight up out of these busted up ass piney woods of East Texas, better known as the Iron Pine Curtain, and of course, saying my usual spiel, commentating being silly and random in horror, science fiction, fantasy, cult classics, and the obscure in movies, television shows, literature, and having our wonderful guests dropping in with your girl. Woo! Lord have mercy. I got some beef. I got some say to what's going on with horror films of 2024. Now, it did go on and pop it with 2023. Now, that was a really great season for horror. But you gonna hear my motherfucking thoughts, my opinions, which I don't care what you think or say or whatever like that, about horror films that are coming out that I do not have a faint remotely desire to watch. Maybe some will catch my interest, but I'm kind of feeling on the horror films, kind of like a little bit of dragging on, just making me go to sleep, yo. They making me go to sleep. I'm talking about chokehold, put me in a chokehold and everything, go to sleep, because I'm watching them, at home, and then of course, with the streaming services. Then I go to the theater and I'm watching it, and I'm just like, what in the hell is going on? Is everybody been overusing tropes? Are they not being fresh with their ideas? Are they not coming up with imaginary shit? I mean, there's so much stuff that you can literally pick like fucking flowers of something that can be very relatable in horror. It doesn't even matter. It can be a current situation of what's going on right now. You have dystopian. You have so many subgenres of horror that you can actually quit being fucking lazy and write. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not, the sauce is not cooking. It's not cooking. What y'all doing is throwing water, salt, and some bullshit in the pot. You're not putting your seasonings. You're not putting your correct vegetables in it. You're sitting there putting, I don't know, cayenne pepper and some damn rutabaga, and then you're throwing some potatoes, and then you're gonna cut up some funky ass chicken feet with it and everything, knowing I love chicken feet. Okay, chicken feet is really good, and I had some when I went to Chinatown. They called Phoenix claws, but I love them hoes. But I'm just saying, you throwing some weird shit in the pot and it's not cooking for me. When am I going to see a horror film this year? Doesn't matter if it's in the theaters or streaming service, that's gonna be cooking for me. Y'all not even simmering. Y'all just throwing shit in there like a bag of ramen noodles in the microwave, and just putting all your dumbass seasons in there and shit. And then you thinking you trying to be creative. Everybody's so fucking creative, and throwing some extra stuff, and then your stuff's tasting nasty, but you're sitting there eating because you're I shouldn't have put that in there. Now my food, my ramen noodles are tasting like yik yik yik, and that's what's going on. I mean, shit, it's feeling it out like this. Horror films of 2024 is giving me bleach blonde, bad built butch body. Okay, now it's giving me that because I am not exactly feeling that. I don't have my fake eyelashes on and everything, but y'all do see me when I be posting on Instagram that I do have my lashes on. Thank you very much. But this is the case right here. Number one, this dang movie put my ass to sleep. This is the worst one. This is the worst damn horror movie. And y'all sitting up there putting this bitch at number one. I got a bone to pick with y'all. Okay? I got a bone to pick with y'all. Goddamn Late Night with the Devil. Received 97% on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm gonna read what it says. Delightfully dark, Late Night with the Devil proves possession horror isn't played out, and it serves as an outstanding showcase for David. I forgot how to pronounce that dude name. He's been in like many horror films. He's also one of the guests with the Boulay brothers. Dracula. He's one of the recurring regular guests, and like he's really fantastic. And of course, the synopsis: Johnny Carson rival Jack Delroy hosts a syndicated talk show, Night Owls, that has long been trusted companion to. Okay, come on. Whatever. So that's what it is. But really, I find this movie to be super, super boring. And it the only thing that I can say about it is yes, it does capture the late night talk shows of like Johnny Carson, Jay Leno, especially back in the day when Johnny Carson was doing it, and also you had Dick Cavett, all of those like of late night television. But Dick Cavett was more of like kind of like an evening time. But Johnny Carson like really like hit the storm and like is part of pop culture and our culture of like how we like sit up after the news 10:30. Here come Johnny Carson, because I remember that as a child. So I do like have like a really big appreciation for just this right here. No, there's actually two things. Um the showing like of the late night television, dominant, like who gets the ratings and stuff. I do appreciate that. Another one is the costuming. The costuming, they did get like absolutely point on point blank, perfect because of the styles of the 70s. And trust me, I have actually worn my dad's old platform shoes and actually wore like 70s like clothing, from my grandma to like my mom, even shopping at Goodwill whenever I was a teenager in the 90s, and kind of like a little bit in the 80s when I was a little kid. But that's a whole different story right there. So I do appreciate the person, bravo on them, of really getting the costuming, the fashions down on point. Now, what I did not like, don't I'm not gonna say the CGI or whatever like that. I know a lot of people had like was tripping on that, but I really don't care. But I'm gonna give a shout out to Donnie Eats Horror, because Donnie Eats Horror did like speak his mind. He's also from East Texas. You can go follow him on Instagram. He does a lot of good sketch art and everything. And plus, condolences. Tell him condolences with his grandmother. She passed away, but he did not like this movie. So I was like, I'm not going to like sit there and take your word for it. I'm going to watch it myself. So I'm not going to let his like perception of like negative perception of like him not liking this film. But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna wipe away all of that right there. And I watched it and I was like, well, shit, I actually feel the same way just like Donnie, because it was it was very disappointing. I particularly not like a big fan of like devil, possession and stuff. I feel that like, oh, another thing is we're just random and stuff. Like I usually like kind of like go off on a little bit of a tangent. Is that the whole satanic panic thing, because of like from like the murders that happened with Charles Manson. That was like, back in the late 60s, of course, like Sharon Tate, she passed away, brutally murdered by them. And also that was like a really huge thing back in the day, was like the satanic panic in the 70s and the 80s and stuff. It was like having like a big rise, like in the occult of Satanism. You heard so many stories. Um, from people making like human sacrifices to drinking goat's blood, all of that. Anton LaVey, he was getting very popular, especially with his like philosophies and his teachings of like Satanism. And really, Satanism is not all about like worshiping Satan. It's more of, hey, you're human, and we're basically, we have carnal lust and everything else. We seek power, we all this and all that. And so like Satanism is like really like an interesting philosophy and stuff, and kind of like my damn self. Like, there's a few things that I picked up on, with the philosophies of Satanism that I actually do practice. I do have a heart, and I do have empathy, but then there's some things that I had to like really let go, that was not uh serving me any purpose, to where I use the principles of some parts of Satanism, that like I was like, okay, this is really good, because I feel that like I have been really selling myself very short in life. And hey, I'm human, so don't worry. I'm not big on religion or like anything else, but I'm more very spiritual and stuff. But that's besides the point. But that's another thing I failed to mention, is that the satanic panic part about it. And of course, uh, people always get like this really funky idea, all of that. But I feel that like people kind of like need to be a little bit open minded, especially when reading about Satanism. There's like Church of Satan, Temple of Satan, all that stuff like that. But they have their faults too. They have their faults, and there's some idiots out there that take it a little bit too damn seriously, and while others don't. It's just how mentally stable that person is, especially when it deals with them, being in the part of Satanism. But back to what I was saying about like this film. I watched it for 20-25 minutes. I went to sleep, and I was like, oh my God, this movie is so boring. So I went to bed, and I didn't lose any sleep over it. So I was like, okay, let's go ahead and rewatch, watch the rest of it. And still put me to sleep. I actually laughed through it because it was just so comical. It was just so comical to me. And I was just like, okay. So like another thing is, shout out to Lady Shay Shay. What the bleep did I watch? What did I watch? She's on YouTube. She's also on what you call it? IG, suggested Ghost Watch, which is like back in the 90s, is all like, like produced in the UK. And that one was very interesting, and that grabbed my attention. That was just more, it had more jump scares, but it also has like more like a richness, a meaty richness with that story. And also there's also a story that has happened, like one of the actors or somebody that was like a cameraman or whatever that worked on the film self-deleted themselves. And I was like, oh my gosh. And this is like where you will think like, oh, Blair Witch was like the first to do you know uh found footage, but there was actually movies back in the 70s and part of the 60s that actually did found footage, especially in the 70s. There was some that was like so bad. I forgot the name of it, that it was actually banned. So you have like found footage films that was like in the 70s. So, I like was thinking about watching that, but then I was like, I don't know, that looks a little bit, it looks a little bit twisted right there, but I just got to get my like P's and Q's together. Now, this one right here, I do say going to like take a dive into this is infested. So you have like more of like spiders in this. I know, shout out to like the evil Tyrone who actually like put out, saying like, hey, this gave me the heebie jeebies. I keep looking around and see if there's like spiders in my drain and everything else. And of course, like the critics' consensus, a chilling effect feature with more on its mind than a simple creepy crawlers. Infested draws viewers into the web with stylish efficiency. So like I was like, okay, might check that one out. But like there's really, I'm looking through, I just don't see anything that is like really interesting to watch. Now, I did like want to like see Lisa Frankenstein, but then I kind of got to thinking about like, oh, this is probably like I don't know. And plus it's like more of like kind of like a teen thing, and I was like, I'm grown as fuck. I don't want to watch this, you know? And then, they had like Night Swim that came out, that was like the beginning, like boom, Night Swim. And then I was like, this shit does not look swimmingly to watch. Because at first I was like, I'm on board. And then I was just like, no, the hell I'm not. I was like, this looks like it sucks. And I heard it was just about some demon in the pool and some hoe shit or something like that. I don't know. And then of course you had Imaginary, and it's by Bloomhouse, of course. Um, that's a no go. Oh yeah, and then like when I went to go see the Fall Guy last week, I went on a date and everything, great date and everything, really awesome person. Um, I seen Tarot, and I was like, okay, so I seen the previews of it. I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me. Why is somebody putting this fucking Tubi movie that's in the fucking theaters? Like, come on. And what I got out of the previews is that literally nobody did not put no idea, thought, or whatever like that. They just like, hey, you want to make a movie? Just like, blah, 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 blah. Sure, why not? Let's make it over tarot cards. Now, I do have tarot cards. So, like, in this film, whoever draws the tarot card is supposedly this supposed to happen. And why is it that this stupid fucking trope, I'm so tired of this trope that is always used in horror about tarot readings and cards, and that like if they pull out the death card, oh my god, they're gonna fucking die. No, they're not. Usually the death card means that something is going to be laid to rest. It could be like a situation, a relationship. It could be like something like a job that you hate so much that you've been working for 5 years and you just want to just like burn the whole building down. And then something imaginary awesomeness of like freaking universe has listened to you for 5 years while you groaning and moaning about this damn job, and guess what? You got your walking papers and you just like, oh shit, I'm free. The death card means so many things that like it does not mean you fixing to die or like your grandmother's gonna die or somebody's gonna die. It does not mean that shit. Oh my god. Like to me it's like when they do shit like that, I'm like, do y'all not freaking realize that these cards are not like, they're more like entertainment, but just whatever energy that somebody pulls and stuff, like it's usually that or whatever like that. It's usually more of like a mind mentality thing, like with metaphysics. But this movie right here, I was just like, you got to be fucking with me. So like whoever pulls these damn tarot cards, it has to be that stupid, boring, common, basic bitch set up of like, there's friends that's going to this cabin to have fun. Hey, do you want to like pull up the tarot cards? Yeah. So you like have all these nondescript ass like actors. I see the guy who was in the Spider-Man movies with Tom Holland. He's in it, and he fucking did. He's like, I am person of color up in here, and guess what we do? We get the fuck out. And so basically that's what he did. I was like, okay, I feel you, dude, because you were just like getting a check for like that scene. And then all this like bullshit terror stuff, like all the tarot cards that they pulled out, like at this cabin, we're gonna have fun and we're gonna have sex and we're gonna drink and smoke pot and do Molly and all that. They start like getting like murked one by one. And I was like, that is Tubi movie on point. You know what I'm saying? That's Tubi movie on point. Who put this in theaters? I have no idea. It's not going to make some fucking money. If it does, it just does. People going to be really disappointed. And then, of course, The Strangers Chapter 1 came out. And I heard that shit sucked. It did not look appealing to me. Like I said, I watched The Fall Guy because I was like looking and looking, and I was just like, I don't even know what the fuck to watch. And so my date says, hey, let's go watch The Fall Guy with like Mojo Dojo Casa, The Notebook, motherfucker, Young Hercules. He needs some chapstick on his lips. Remember he like was on Young Hercules long ago, and I was like, bro, I never did like Ryan Gosling because I was like, this dude needs to have some fucking chapstick on his lips. I just wanted to just strangle his ass. He was not cute to me, and he's still not cute to me. And then you have like Emily Blunt, we fuck up aliens and shit. I stepped on a nail. I'm pregnant as fuck. And, in the second movie, I had my kids and I got the baby and everything. And which is like the second movie was pretty good. And that was a really good movie and stuff. But like when my date like suggested The Fall Guy, I was like, you know what? I can't take a break from like horror because whatever is in this damn theater that I'm looking at, which is The Strangers Chapter 1 and Tarot, and I was like, yeah, The Fall Guy is going to be that shit. And it was actually a pretty good ass movie and stuff. And of course you had like that Phil Collins, song playing and everything. Now and Emily Blunt did like a really fantastic job doing the karaoke part of the scene and shit. And it was just like really great to see Winston Duke and also like Stephanie, can I pronounce her last name? But it starts with an H. She was like on Joyride. She was so funny on there with a dragon coochie tattoo. That shit was funny. But yeah, I mean that is like a no-go right there. And then you also have like this movie called Camp Pleasant Lake. It looks like it's like super bad to like watch, but then this is what the shit is like about this Camp Pleasant Lake. You got Jonathan Linsky, if y'all remember him, he was like on what's that stupid movie called Jerry Maguire and everything else, blah blah blah. Andrew Divoff. Andrew Divoff, who played in all the Wishmaster movies as like the Wishmaster Jin. Hell yeah. And Michael Paré. Hello. Sweatpants season from one of my like favorite movies, which he plays a werewolf, which is like based on a book called Thor, Bad Moon. So you have like them all up in it, and you got Bonnie Aarons in here too. Hello, like none chick. All right. So I'm thinking to myself, like, I might can like make it through this Camp Pleasant Lake. I mean, come on now. You have like Jonathan Lipsky, Bonnie Aarons, Andrew Divinoff, and Michael Paré in there. So, I mean, it's gonna like be like some Freddie, we going back to the damn camp and blah 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 and all that shit. Blah, blah. I don't give a fuck. I'm just gonna watch it, and if it's so bad, I don't give a shit. I'm gonna just watch it. But like I said, these movies, I'm just like, what is going on? Like, of course, I did not like Destroy All Neighbors. That was pretty cheesy, but I did like it had Alex Winter, you kind of feel like that freak, the movie. It had Brooke Shields and of course Dennis Quaid in there. That was a crazy movie with the macaroons and shit. And they were like all like looking like some mutants and shit. It's kind of like a funny Dr. Moreau type of thing going on with that one. And then you have like these movies like they turn us into killers, Alice in Terrorland, really something in the water. I don't know. Frogman, The Last Girl. It's like, oh, it's got Antonio Banderas in this batch. And then you got Humane, you got Arcadian, which has Nick Cage in it, The Sting, and then of course Abigail. I would like give Abigail like a watch, because a little girl vampire, and you remember like on Interview with the Vampire, we have Claudia, which is the young vampire, and of course, it was like taboo to have like a very like a child vampire. And of course, Interview with the Vampire, the second season, it is out on AMC. Yo, it's kind of giving you like a little bit more about like Claudia and Louis when they were in Paris and stuff, and then this is where he meets Amon, and yeah, so I like it. I like how they put it like it's reimagined, and I'm just like, okay, but I actually dig Interview with the Vampire. Vampires are not like straight up my like cup of tea, but there are some good vampire movies, you know what I'm saying, that I really do like. Also, they have the Festival of the Living Dead. Let me like look at this right here. So you got like some of these movies that are like on YouTube, Google, Amazon, and Cult Killer trailer. It's called Cult Killer. Really? It's kind of weird because it says The Last Girl, but then it says like Cult Killer, and it's like Antonio Banderas. Um, a private investigator forcefully gets into a dangerous alliance with the killer to uncover town's grisly criminal underbelly and clear up the name of her mentor, who is implicated in the crimes. And it has like Alice Eve, and if you don't know who Alice Eve is, she was like on Star Trek, the one that with J.J. Abrams. Um, when you had like fucking RoboCop with that damn military enterprise that he had, and this is like the one that has like Benedict Cumberbatch like as Khan. Yo, she's like in this one in here, and like she was like pretty cool like in that Star Trek movie and stuff. That was one I really liked, because I felt like the second one of J.J. Abrams, where they had Khan and Benedict Cumberbatch, actually did a good job. And then of course Peter Weller was in there, RoboCop, Naked Lunch and everything, because he was like straight up like a fucking fool and a fucking menace and everything. And I actually like that. And then of course the third one, like I did like the third one too, but I mean Idris Elba was kind of like he was kind of like an okay villain in it, but I needed for him to like pull out some fucking Luther in that, and I was like, "Come on, Luther, come on, Luther, come on." I'm like, Idris, you playing a little bit too nice with this villain and stuff, but but yeah, I'm just like literally not. I'm not very happy with this. And of course, I'm looking at this Reddit, and I'm telling you, I'm gonna like give out like the stitch and everything. And somebody's like saying it's gonna be a good year. This is like this Reddit, and I was like, no, it's not. You're stupid. Sorry, Reddit user. But then this one right here, I actually like this first one of this Reddit user. Our horror movie's not going to do well in 2024 at the box office. I'm concerned about the upcoming horror movies slated for 2024 release to do well, or are they just going to underperform? After Abigail opened in 10 million on a budget of 28 million, which is good, that's correct because they lost money. I'm concerned that horror movies are not looking good compared to Night Swim, Lisa Frankenstein, Imaginary, and The First Omen, which are performing below expectations. Upcoming movies slated for 2024, which is Alien Romulus, A Quiet Place 1, Maxine, Night Bitch, Nosferatu, Tarot, you can scratch that shit right there. Terrifier 3, now that's going to get some people in the seats right there. The Watchers, hell no. Maybe so. I don't know. The Strangers, Chapter 1, 2, 3, and The Trap should be considered box office depending if it's good and interesting the audience. Are you concerned that horror movies are not doing well in 2024? Yes, I am, Reddit person. I'm very concerned. I really am. Did really Lisa Frankenstein did really good? I don't know. But I am like gonna put money on Maxine, of course. This is like the last one from T.I. West, A Quiet Place Day One. Because, I feel like the Quiet Place Day One does like deserve like our attention because we still like want to like why these like goofy motherfuckers that can't hear and I mean they can hear and they can't see and shit attacking. Well, of course they attacking because they hungry and stuff like that, decimating the whole like planet Earth, to get their resources. We want to see like that beginning part and everything, and I think that's like that deserves our attention. And of course, Nosferatu. Now that's something I want to watch too. Night Bitch, because it got bitch in there and everything, so I want to like watch that also. And then Alien Romulus. So, science fiction. And then again, I'm looking at it like this, like the science fiction actiony movies that are like kind of coming out and everything. I know like I watched Ghostbusters, uh what is it? Frozen Empire. It was pretty good, but it just didn't have like a lot of heart with it, like the did with the first one with Afterlife, because it just like mainly like focused like on um you know uh Harold Ramis's character Egon. I like that, but this one it kind of like went a little. It kind of went toot a little bit backwards and everything because they went back to New York, and I was like, but y'all wasn't making money. Y'all was finna get your ass kicked out and shit like that. And you went to Oklahoma to like stay there, and then all of a sudden you back, in the same fucking position, you know, it was bullshit. But it was really good to like see, the actors, the veteran actors that came in, and Walter Peckass was up in that bitch as the mayor and stuff. That was funny as hell. I thought that was pretty cool to see old Walter Peck up in there. Yes, he does not have a dick, but Alien Romulus, I'm finna put some money on that right there because that's something that I want to watch. And I'm like really huge like fan of like science fiction horror, aliens, but it was like Aliens was more of actiony because it was like directed by James Cameron, but that shit was still pretty fucking scary though, you know what I'm saying? Newt, bring the blood. Stay away from her, you bitch. And then, of course, like, it is so funny because, like, when Prometheus came out, people hated Prometheus. And then, like, when Alien, oh god, Covenant came out, they were like, I hate Covenant, but I like Prometheus. It's like, pick a fucking struggle, bro. But, like, I did like Covenant because, the little alien that was, like, sitting up there, like, Michael Fassbender's character, David, and that little alien was sitting there like kind of like dancing around and stuff. He said that scene and shit. And then I got to thinking about Spaceballs, at the end when John Hurt was like cameoed in it, and they was like at the cafe, the little space cafe diner, and it busted out, hello my baby, hello my darling, hello my ragtime girl. Cause when that little alien started kind of like doing like that little dance after he done like cashed out, and David was like, "Hey, how you doing?" He's like, "I'm alright. Yeah, watch me boogie." He was like, "Well, watch me whip." And now watch me nay nay. That's what the alien was doing. It was whipping and nay nay. And I was like, I'm fucking like head ass, dead ass deceased on that shit right there. I couldn't stop laughing. I mean, my throat was hurting. I had to rewind that part like over just to see this little alien like, you know. But I'm looking forward to like Alien Worlds. And of course Maxine. I got into it. Hey, I got into like Pearl and like, the other movie. What was that other movie? God, I forgot that other movie. Damn, I forgot that other movie. That's crazy right there. But to me, Pearl was the one that I actually liked the most. But like Pearl, but God, that fucking accent of Mia Goth had, that was terrible. That was the most terrible Texan accent. And plus, she was supposed to be German and everything. And I was just like, she could have like a German accent, just a slight bit of a German accent with her Texas accent, because I actually have a boss who is actually born in Germany and she grew up in East Texas, and her mom is like born and raised in Germany. She actually does have a German accent, and you can tell like for my boss, she has like a slight bit of an accent, because she lived in Germany and then she was raised in East Texas and stuff. So like she speaks German to her mom like all the time. I'd be sitting there, just be chilling, just like listening, and I could like pick up on like what they're saying and stuff. Cause hey, I know some survival German, some Deutsch, you know what I'm saying? But I do look forward to seeing Maxine, because this is like the completion of like the whole series by T.I. West. And like that, Maxine's a very interesting character. That's pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? But that is enough of my rambling and fucking venting about like horror of like this year. And what do you think? Do you think that I'm right? Do you stay neutral, or you think I'm like flat out wrong? We can agree and disagree on like horror films of 2024. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to like throw your opinion out and everything, I'll listen to it. I'll like, I ain't gonna bite your damn head off, or I ain't gonna call you no bleach blonde bad built butch body bitch or whatever like that and everything. I'm not gonna talk shit like that. I'm just not like a person like that, baby. Like I'm almost like half a fucking century years old, like in 4 fucking years. So like I know how to like have a civil conversation and debate. You may hear me cussing up on this bitch and everything, but baby, you can hear me speaking in this tone right here, and we can have a really good time, and we also can agree and disagree on that too. So here you go. Anyways, I'm late as hell. I'm gonna be like throwing out another podcast, and then I'm dipping the fuck out of this bitch. You may see me come on Instagram maybe every once in a while. If you want, if you on Instagram, you see my ass, click and like, share with your peoples and everything else. I'm on that YouTube and stuff. Slowly but surely, I'm still getting the hang of that, just posting videos. Also, check me out at the Random Horror Show at Facebook. Click like and share with your friends and stuff. Don't even like be tripping and shit like that. Thank you for like the support and stuff, and thank you so much for like listening to me. And like I said, sometimes this right here, what I'm doing is like for the art, the passion, the love for it, just reviewing movies, just thinking my little damn thoughts, what I think about some stuff and everything. But like, I'm one of those that like, I don't give a fuck about like being a popular person, because I never was. But also, I really do care about what the fuck you think and what the fuck you like. And that's it. All right, now everybody, y'all take care. Love you guys. Stay spooky and ghouly and crazy and everything else. Just make sure you have at least about $150 to $300 on your bill and everything, because summer is approaching. So have a fun summer. If it be lukewarm, where you drop it where it's slow, you might have like a bad bit built bitch body, summer. You might have like that white boy summer. You may have that black magic girl summer. You may have like that, that Hispanic, Latino summer and everything. But anyways, you can have like a bullshit summer, but just make sure your summer is good. Don't let your kids go starving during the fucking summertime and everything. Get them little bad bastards into some sports, some extracurricular activities and shit. Don't be tripping on them and stuff. Remember, they get the hell out of school. The damn teachers are not your damn babysitters and everything. Take care of your motherfucking kids and shit during the goddamn summertime. Don't be throwing them out on your grandma and shit, knowing grandma about like 80-some years old. You know good goddamn well she can't keep up with them damn kids and everything else. Make sure you have somebody that is reliable and dependable, and don't even like get somebody that just say they take care of kids or watch kids and shit, babysit your kids, and some fucked up shit happening, because you gotta make sure the kids be safe. Okay? That's all I gotta say. Make sure your kids are safe. Make sure your ass is safe. You smoke crack, snort coke, you do a damn bowl, kick on the mollies and stuff. Yeah, I'm showing my age. Alright? Just saying. Y'all be careful out there in the streets. All right? Y'all don't burn up. Y'all put your sunscreen on. I got my sunscreen. It's called Black Girl Sunscreen. Shout out to them. Shameless promotion and everything. I'm not getting paid for it, but I'm going to say this right here. That Black Girl Sunscreen, it works miracles. My skin ain't bullshit. It ain't creepy, ain't crepey. Black don't crack and everything, but I got to take it. But it does crack and everything if you don't take care of that bitch. That's all I got to say. Anyways, thank you so much for joining and listening and having a great time. I'm Keisha Lacey, and this is the Random Horror Show.